Desde la cabina más importante de Long Island, en New York, infórmate de lo que pasa en tu barrio. En 3, 2, 1, arrancamos. Anthony from the Neighborhood en Latino Mixx. Dale play a tu bocina.
Así mismo, señores, le damos play a las bocinas y escuchamos Latino Mixx cada sábado en la mañana hasta las 11. Estoy yo aquí. Espero que disfrutaron el show ante el mío. Es un buen show, pan con leche. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Bueno, digo pan con café. Sorry, my bad. But that's a great show that's right before mine. And then after mine, we have an amazing show which is called The Urban Zone. And Whit Montez is on that show, and she is blasting off with some really cool music. Obviously, from the Urban Zone. So, support all the shows that are on the station. We got shows 7 days a week. 7 días a la semana estamos aquí para entretenerlos ustedes. Esta semana completa viene desde la mañana hasta la noche, con shows mañaneros, del pronóstico, tráfico y los DJs favoritos que están mezclando todo lo que ustedes se pueden imaginar. So, ¿cómo nos estamos en contacto? Bueno, muy fácil. La página latinomix.com, eso es con 2X. Y también en la aplicación Latino Mixx. Si la buscan en el Google Play Store, si la buscan en el App Store, usted la pueden bajar. Y así mismo se pueden también hasta comunicar con nosotros y dejarnos saber cuáles son sus temas favoritos, preguntas que tengan, sugestiones, comentarios. Pueden participar con esos que están en la estación. So download the app, guys, Latino Mixx, and participate with the guys here at the station. And really just control the station, guys. We're here to serve you. We're here to have a good time. And how do you reach out to me? I'm Anthony at From The Neighborhood, whether it's Facebook, whether it's on the website, it's From The Neighborhood. Make sure to reach out to me, follow me, and DM me for more. Now, I've got a great show as we do every single week. We have a lot of fun on Saturdays. Saturdays, to me, are the best day of the week because I get to go ahead and have fun with you guys, really kick back and relax. Y los sábados, ya usted sabe, se acabó la semana. Y comenzó lo bueno de la semana con un buen sábado. So, señores, no puedo buscar otra canción que no sea del sábado. Tengo que comenzar con una canción que diga Saturday. It's gotta be Saturday. So my man is gonna blow it up. He's crazy. He's ludicrous with his jam right here, Saturday. Ooh, let's go.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
It's Saturday. Woo, yeah, ludicrous. That's how we bring it back to the weekend. Así es que regresamos al fin de semana. It is Saturday. Hoy es sábado a las 11 de la mañana. Estamos con un buen show. Y bienvenidos, señores. Bienvenidos a From the Neighborhood. And today I've got a great show. As we do every week, we're going to go into some neighborhood. And we're going to meet some locals who are really doing things in these neighborhood. And also they can talk to us about like what it's like, to have a life in this neighborhood. What is it that you do? Where do you go eat? Where do you go shop? Where do you go have fun? And we're going beyond the headlines of the news. We're going deep to talk about these neighborhoods. And I really can't wait to get my foot into some of these places and walk around. No es nada mejor que explorar, right? There's nothing better than exploring these areas and finding out like, hey, what's good here? And making friends with somebody, right? Finding yourself a neighbor so you guys can hang out with and say, hey, that's my boy right there. And you know what? You got a friend, tienes un amigo donde la puede pasar bien en cualquier vecindario que usted esté. So nosotros como humanos tenemos cosas en común que lo cogemos como si fuera nada. Pero en la realidad eso son cosas especiales que nos unen. Y nosotros encontramos ese lugar común y así llegamos a tener nuestras conversaciones, sea de pelota, sea de noticias, sea del clima, right? Porque nosotros somos animales sociales, right? We're social beings. We're social animals. We need to be in touch with one another. And that's really what it is. We find common ground with one another and we connect. Now, speaking of which, Latino Mixx has a great thing going on, which is connecting people all over at all sorts of events, and that is on their website. If you guys are looking at me right now on video, again, latinomix.com, you guys will also be able to find yourselves if you're at any of the events that Latino Mixx is a part of. We've been a part of a bunch of events, festivals, concerts, and more, and you guys can go ahead and have your photo taken and show up on the website. So, asegúrate que si ves Latino Mixx, ponte ahí a posear para tu foto, para que te vean en la página y le enseña a todos tus amigos. Y así seguimos creando una buena comunidad. So guys, I have got a great show today. I know it's crazy out there. Might be hot, might be sticky. I don't know what the weather might be like out there. I'm in the studio so long, I haven't seen the daylight. But if you guys are having a crazy day, I know. I know, it could be a jungle sometimes. It can get wild out there. But you know what? It's Saturday. Let's act like we're in the jungle. Vamos a actuar como que estamos en la jungla y vamos a pasarla bien con esa buena canción. Le voy a tirar otra porque la vida es una aventura y nosotros queremos estar como los animales así libres y gozando uno con el otro. So, let's go. It's a jungle sometimes, baby.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Man, that's a good song. Esa es una buena canción y a mí me cuesta porque esa canción es larga y tiene una buena historia, igual como la que nosotros tengamos aquí en el programa y siempre la tengo que cortar por mitad. Like I've always got to cut that song short. It's a jungle. And you know, that's life, right? That's life. And I bring on here folks who are local from the community, gente que son locales de la comunidad, que vienen y nos cuentan de la historia de ellos y el pasos que ellos han tomado en su vida, trompezones que han tomado en su vida y nos cuentan, hey, me he pasado esto, me he pasado el otro, pero aquí voy yo en camino, right? And this is interesting because we have people who, you know, when you hear of them, you know, let's take some big dudes that you hear all the time. Elon Musk, you know, Mark Zuckerberg. You hear these guys, celebrities that you hear about all the time. You say, how did they get there? How did this happen? Listen, it happened in their own neighborhood, right? Like you talk about Microsoft being founded in a garage. Like these are stories, right? Apple, it's and I'm only talking about tech. What about food? And this is what I'm talking about. When you get to know who your neighbor is, there's tons of possibilities. So just have a conversation with your neighbor. If you're out there right now, hopefully not in the car, but if you're at home and you're enjoying a barbecue or you're enjoying whatever your morning breakfast is and so forth, talk to your neighbor and say, hey, what's up? How's your day going? And see, maybe they're up to something pretty cool. I mean, it might just blow you away. Now, I've got a great guy who's coming to me from Brooklyn to represent my neighborhood, or at least a part of it, right? And I got my man here, Joe Custodio. Welcome him to the show.
Thank you so much. Now, I know it's customary for everyone to be thankful to be here, but I truly am because I've been from the neighborhood all my life.
Yeah, I love it.
But today I am officially from the neighborhood.
Yes, sir, you are, man. Welcome to the show, man. I'm glad to have you here. And the truth is, we're both coming out of Brooklyn, but we have our own stories.
Yes.
And you come out of a part of Brooklyn that was really close to me.
Right.
So why don't you give a big shout out to that neighborhood?
So I'm not originally from Brooklyn.
I know. Don't mess me up right
I'm
now.
not gonna. I just have to clarify that.
But you drove here from Brooklyn.
I did.
All right, don't mess up the show. Tell me where you're from. Let's go.
I currently reside in Cypress Hills.
What's up, Cypress Hills?
East New York, Brooklyn.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to tell you why it's so close to me.
Yeah.
I bought my first house in Cypress Hills.
Wow.
Yeah. I was 25 years old.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Ridgewood Avenue, Euclid Avenue. I bought my first house, bro. So that's why it's so close to me, because it's the first neighborhood that gave me a shot to owning a piece of it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why. And I know where you're originally from. So
I just wanted to make sure that you remember,
Hey,
man.
bro, don't worry about it. Fact checker in the room. Fact checker in the room.
You know? Here's the clue.
Yes. And we're going to be a big shout out to them because, you know, it's a borough that is unfortunately misunderstood.
1,000%.
All right.
So I look forward to getting to that.
Why don't we give a big shout out to the neighborhood you were born in, that you really step your roots up, right? So, dígame, ¿cuál es el vecindario? Let's go.
So, Fordham Road, the Bronx, New York, boogie down all the way, 718, 1,000%. I love where I'm from. I have no hesitation or qualms to
big shout out, big applause to the Bronx. Let's hear it right now. No, listen, and you know it's cool. Like we're friends. We met a few years back, actually. At this point, maybe like 4 years back or so.
Right.
And we always goof it like this.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I mean, we've taken a couple trips together. We had some fun with that as well. And I really want people to get to know who you are, because I feel that you're a true representation of what your neighborhood is. Like este señor aquí, él representa lo que es el vecindario. Él no se fue del Bronx y se olvidó del Bronx. Él no vive en Brooklyn y se actúa que vive en otro lugar. Él está hablando con gente y tratando con proyectos internacionales. Y él todavía sigue conectado a lo que es su comunidad. Disfruta el parque local, el restaurante local, y todo ese tipo de cosas. So, like, this is where you live. You're real about it.
No, yeah, I still reside there, and you know, some people around our age bracket, they look at me with a look of concern where I tell them, when I tell them where I live, and they'll ask questions like, why?
Yeah.
You know, why you're still there.
Right.
And I love it. I really do. I love Cypress Hills, East New York, the energy, the people, the vibes. I truly feel like it's one of the few places in America that you can get that authenticity from the people and their roots.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I often go to Highland Park, and if anybody wants to experience one of the best parks in the city, go to Highland Park Saturday or Sunday, and you see
It's fire.
It's fire.
Yeah, I know.
You see soccer games, you see basketball games,
Yes.
you see softball games, you see people playing tennis, and it's all competitive.
I used to play softball there on the leagues, and it is insane.
Competitive.
You know, I've won home run derby one year. And
Wow.
with the Tarcitas.
Oh.
Los Tarcitas allá, es una liga dominicana. So ellos juegan casi los 5 días a la semana.
Ajá.
De noche durante semana.
Sí.
Y después durante el día juegan como 3 juegos en el play. Yo jugaba con ellos. So, yo estaba en el equipo, se llamaba Los Bravos. So, yo jugaba con ellos hace muchos años atrás. Muchísimos años. Pero se gozan. Tienen... they have announcers,
Yep.
right? So this Dominican league.
Umpires, yep. all of
Umpires,
that.
announcers. They even got a vehicle that preps the field.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Cada juego es como la Serie Mundial. That's how they treat. It's like it's life or death, and they have, you know, we don't have any stands like that.
Yeah.
So everybody brings their own chairs.
Yes.
And then you have food vendors come out with their patalitos.
Y son 4 play de pelota. So there's 4 baseball fields, and they're all packed with the games. Because
Yes.
there's Highland up top and Highland at the bottom of Jamaica Avenue,
Yep.
right? So now let me go back to the Bronx. All right, let's represent the Bronx, Fordham Road.
Yeah.
You're still going down there, right?
Yeah, I still go back. My parents were there up until last year, and they finally moved to Tampa, so very happy for them.
Oh,
but
nice.
that was always my reason to go back to visit them, but also to make sure that I was still connected with that neighborhood. You still have Compi, which is the bodeguero there, right? And we all know that. You
That's
know,
his name? Compi?
Well, I don't know his real name.
Dile a Compi que escuche.
Compi, which is compadre, right?
Yeah.
So with Compi, like most bodegueros, they're there 16 hours a day.
I know.
But they're like the mayor of the neighborhood,
Yeah,
right?
mi papá fue bodeguero.
Exactly.
So, like, I know. Yeah.
And I think the funniest thing is that those guys are there 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, but they know everything that goes on in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
They know
do.
the tea, the juice, the
Son el
chinche.
consejero,
Yup.
right? El financiero.
Yep, that too.
Porque le dan crédito a la gente. Like, your bodega guy, he's like affording these people, you know, credit lines.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you come in there with problems. It's like the barbershop kind of scenario, right? People could think of it like that. And the bodeguero's listening to you. You're
Yep.
trying to figure it out with you.
Yep, because they have nothing else to do but listen. Right? They have nothing else to do but
Listen,
time.
you know what it is? Bodega owners, barbershops, and like bartenders. They're salon owners, right?
Yep.
They're like therapists for a lot
really
of
are.
us, especially inner city. They become almost like family.
Yeah. So he lived a floor below me, and he was always watching. There's 3 of us. I have 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And he was always watching out for me and my brothers.
Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Well, if you were to take one word for community, the whole tie-in of community, if you were to take it into one word on how astounding, how impactful it is, and you were to tell to somebody like, listen, being in a neighborhood is this, what would that one word, what do you think we would put it in?
I would say passion. I mean, that's the number one word that comes to mind.
Passion.
I can't speak for other neighborhoods, but you know, you step into Fordham, you step into Cypress Hills, it's just an energy that it's hard to describe and to experience unless you're there.
My man. Well, listen, let me tell you something. I got to tell you that if you're in Highland Park, it's an amazing experience. In Fordham Road, what you described with bodegueros, if you have that connection with your local business owner, that's an amazing experience. I invite local business owners to be part of what we're doing here at the station, to advertise on the station, to reach out to us and let us get your voice heard. But at the end of the day, I can say that for me, when I tell this to a lot of people about how life is, Cypress Hills and other neighborhoods like that, Fordham Road, where I even grew up, a lot of people they're dumbfounded and they're like, it's unbelievable. Like, how? Like, it's New York City. No, I don't. I'm like, listen, bro, see it, and you believe it.
Right.
But they just don't. So I'm going to go to a quick break right now with one of my favorite songs from Brooklyn, Biggie Smalls, Unbelievable. Let's do it.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Yeah, we're right back. And that's right. A lot of people think neighborhoods aren't like that. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I had to play that jam because it was Brooklyn. And I know we have a connection there.
Yes,
so
we do.
My man, I wanna first go back to like, there's the things you're working on right now, which I'm going to talk about. Son cosas que este señor está trabajando que yo le voy a contar a ustedes después, pero ¿de dónde comenzó? Porque it's humble beginnings, right? We're talking about like, you don't just launch into something and all of a sudden, hey, everybody sees you on their radar. You've got 1 million followers on Instagram. It don't start like that. Para nadie. Like, nadie comienza así con la cuchara de oro en su boca. Y hasta la gente que dicen, oh, tengo todo el dinero, like it still doesn't happen for them. So there is a very interesting journey, and I want to start getting into yours. Talk to me about like your work history, first job.
My first job was summer youth program, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. And it was working at Van Cortlandt Park, which I believe is the second largest or the third largest park.
So summer youth program, that's the SYEP, right?
Yep.
So señores, este es un programa que se llama Summer Youth Program, Employment Program, SYEP, y los niños se pueden inscribir a través de su escuela y consiguen experiencia en el trabajo, de un trabajo real, con responsabilidades real y un pago real, porque a ellos le pagan. De una manera son empleados de la ciudad de Nueva York, y están empleados por una compañía privada y hacen un trabajo y una función real. So they have a real job through SYEP. They sign up through their school, and their school puts them in touch with an organization, usually a nonprofit, and they'll put them into job placement, a real job with real pay. So that was your first job?
That was my first job, and I do want to say that it's very unfortunate that the previous administration made budget cuts to summer youth employment. And I hope to see that reinstated again.
I did not have as many kids available for the summer youth program. As a matter of fact, what I did is I always get those kids. Yo he tenido niños for like 7 years, como 7 años ha tenido niños en mi trabajo. I actually had interns from the Bronx.
Yeah.
But I had interns instead of the program because it was cutbacks.
Right.
Yeah.
So I hope to see this administration, Eric Adams' administration, implement that once again.
Yeah. And it had an impact on you. So
yes,
I can obviously see the impact that it had. So
yes, it did. That's why I feel very strongly about it, because it's the first exposure you have to feeling money in your own hands that you work for.
Yeah.
That is extremely powerful.
La primera experiencia de tener dinero en tu mano y tener un trabajo real. And let me ask you this question, Joe. What year was that? Was it before or after the song I just played?
It was after the song that you just played.
All right.
That was 2000.
Thanks for making me feel old.
You're only as old as you look.
Yes, sir. Oh, wow. Don't turn on the camera, people. Well, listen, that was good, man. That was good. Because that song came out in 1994. So
yes, I was 6 years old, and you were probably 3.
Yeah, thanks.
See, I recovered, right?
Yeah, man. Well, actually, I think I was about 12 or 13. Okay. Yeah, 12, 13, because it was about junior high school years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, fantastic. So now SYEP, this program is through your high school.
No.
So what was it through?
At the time, you had to apply for it. Your parents had to be aware of the program, get the application,
give the permission,
and I think the application would come through the school. I forgot how. Yeah. But you would apply and then hope to be accepted. It was like a lottery.
Yeah.
And I do have interesting stories of that experience there.
Well, how did that shape you right now when you turn into the work that you're doing? And without letting it out the bag, right? But when we talk about that, how did that shape you to really take an interest in some of the things that you've done with your life?
I would say that it motivated me to make sure I have my own. I didn't want to be more of a burden to my parents because they work so hard.
Right.
Working 60 to 80 hours a week. And that's what I can say Summer Youth did for me above all else. That's what I carried with me to this day. Is it fostered a work ethic,
Yeah.
right? And then the understanding that you have to produce, and that's something that my father was always on me about.
Yeah, man. Earn yours, right?
You gotta earn, exactly. You gotta earn yours. You have to earn your keep.
Yeah. Tremenda disciplina que uno aprende de esos tipos de trabajos porque uno llega a una corporación, una compañía real y tiene oficios reales y responsabilidades reales. Entonces la persona sí llega a conocer lo que es el mundo fuera de la escuela.
Yep. So it's, again, it does teach you a lot of lessons, but I just feel so blessed that I was able to have that experience because it really laid the foundation.
And when you talk about, like, for example, when you talk about the community and so forth, and you formed yourself, your own little buddies, right? You then started, getting into other businesses or other careers. Ultimately, I met you when you were in the real estate business.
Yes.
Right? So that is an entrepreneurial track. Right?
Yes.
Cuando una persona entra en finques raíces, ellos están trabajando por sus cuentas. Tienen asociación con una oficina, pero estaban por su cuenta. Ahora, eso fue una etapa de la vida de este señor. Eso fue una etapa que él vivió, que él pasó de experiencia, pero teniendo yo creo que las disciplinas, esas te ayudaron a tener triunfo en esa carrera. So that helped you, right? In having your triumph and basically accomplishing some goals?
Oh, absolutely. So I would say that, when I got into real estate, it was because I was at a dead-end job and I felt the need. I was looking for something.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't know what it was, but I was yearning for something else because I knew that wasn't it.
Yeah.
And ironically, at the dead-end job, which I wasn't doing much, I was watching YouTube videos, and then a YouTube ad came on for real estate.
So hold on. You got inspired by a YouTube video to start a whole nother career path.
Yes.
So, señoras, si ustedes también están escuchando este programa, puede ser que ustedes tengan un niño que lo esté escuchando en el asiento atrás y diga, ¿cuál es el programa SYEP? Y lo comienza una carrera y uno nunca sabe dónde uno va a aterrizar, because now you're doing things way beyond real estate, right? We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about some of the bigger things you're doing. And I think really the lesson that you're putting out there to people is truly live a wholesome, full life, and seek out what's possible, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, there's voices in our head that tell us, hey, don't do this, don't do that, or just inhibitors that you deal with because of whatever reason, right? And at the time, there was risk involved. There was risk because there was a steady job.
Hey, it's a risk to be alive every day, right? So come on, you gotta take something on.
Right. So there was a heavy risk involved, and at the time, how I felt because of the stability and all that, and I just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just gonna go.
You're gonna go for it.
So I quit my job with, I think, about 2 months of savings.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
to start your own business.
To start my own real estate.
That's phenomenal, man. I mean, listen, you're not just finished there, because we said this isn't what the show is going to be about.
Right.
You've got this other chapter, but literally, you just got up and said, you know what, I'm going to live it. I'm going to live it. I'm going to go to a quick break right now, real quick, and I'm going to make sure you guys are living your life. Let's go.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Y aquí regresamos, señores, con nuestro invitado que nos estaba hablando de todos los exámenes que tuvo que pasar en su vida, right? Y todas las cosas que aprendió según fue pasando los años de su vida. So now we're talking about, obviously, you're past your first job. You got to this dead-end job. You're trying to figure things out. School's over. School's out. Right? Like, there's not school anymore. So now what do you do as an adult to continue to grow? And what can you leave for other people to hear that they can say, hey, you know what? Maybe I should get up and do something about it. These things exist.
I think it's very cliche, but you always have to be a student. You always have to be a seeker of truth. You always have to be learning. It's something that I actually impress on my son almost on a daily basis. Like, hey, you have Google. If you don't have the answer, it's there. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that was a huge element of kind of breaking the mental shackles, the barriers.
Yes.
Is education, buying books, courses. not hesitating in spending, paying that price, because it is an investment.
Yeah, because I mean, we can build two things. We can build castles and towers, right? Or we can build prisons around ourselves.
Yes.
Y yo creo que la persona muchas veces, en vez de crear los torres y los palacios, crean esta prisión porque nada más se pasan observando lo que está a su alrededor en vez de interactuar con el alrededor. Y entonces lo que ven es como que miedo, se demoran y se le pasan los años y dicen, no, ya, es que no lo puede, no, se me pasó el tiempo, right? So the time has not passed, you guys. Rather than creating these prisons around you by just simply observing life, interact with life, get involved with it. And you got involved with some things. So tell us about that.
Sure. I got involved with Gentleman's Factory. Shout out to Jeff Lindor.
Yeah.
And by way, also my man, Gene Alert. Two big influences and, guys who I consider mentors.
Yes. I learned of them through you,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
So that was,
you should join.
It was an impact to you that you actually went out and put it to me. And these guys, I mean, I don't want to blow it off. I want you to say what's your experience, because mine was totally different. Like I could go a show on my own,
right,
talking about my experience.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Tell me about yours.
So when I joined, and by the way, Gentleman's Factory it's more than a social club, but it's really a bunch of minority men getting together and from all walks of life, figuring out how to work together, how to build a community. It has a tremendous social impact on, communities, businesses, you name it, whatever it is. And I think for me, I came in with, not too many expectations. I just wanted to connect with other men that I can relate to.
Yeah.
And, whatever happens, happens.
Claro, you want to make friends o quieres ser amigo con las personas que están pensando como tú.
Right.
Y tú fuiste buscando una organización. You found Gentleman's Factory, which, by the way, big shout out to Gentleman's Factory out in Brooklyn, right?
That's right.
Brooklyn. But these guys are really spreading the message. And this was a group of minority men, hombres de minoría, de color, que están buscando cómo triunfar en la vida, cómo maximizar, o sea, tener una vida llena, rellena, completa, right? So now you hook up with them, and what did this inspire you to do?
So it's funny, when the pandemic started, I remember Jeff Lindor said, and this was in April of 2020, right? So this is 1 month into the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And he said, guys, remember this. This will be a time that there'll be a few select people take this opportunity to inspire creativity and innovation. You will see within the next few years people who took this time to create something bigger. Now, whatever that means to you, that's up to you.
Building castles and towers, right?
Precisely.
So we had the opportunity of having shelter in place and building those four walls around us and saying, "Oh, I don't want the cooties," right? Mm-hmm. I'm afraid of it. And enclosing yourself, or just saying, "You know what? Maybe I was looking at things differently,
right,
or incorrectly, or not in alignment with who I am." So Jeff goes ahead and throws this out there. This is a visionary speech, man.
Right. It is a visionary speech.
Yeah.
And then 1 month later, I get my visionary, my man, my co-founder. He contacts me and he brings me on to the project that we're going to speak on later, which...
Oh, you're holding back on me?
I got it.
Because you've got...
Listen, my mom was a baker. I gotta say this. My mom was a baker and she baked thousands of Dominican cakes, and already the icing is left, the frosting is left at the end.
Yeah. Señores, si ustedes nos están viendo a nosotros aquí en latinomix.com en el video, el hombre aquí es paisano, él es dominicano, aunque no me ha tirado ni una palabra en español. But
I said Serie Mundial. What are you talking about? What do you want me to say?
Wow, that was one word. That's one word. For a guy that eats plátanos, I need more than that.
Listen, mangú is... not mangú. I would say tostones con queso frito. That's one of my favorite.
Oh, that's really good. Good choice. Good choice. You're going to have to tell me where to pick that up on Fordham Road.
You can go to, not really Fordham. You can go to the La Fritura on 188 and Grand Concourse. It's very, very well known. It was actually had a spot on Anthony Bourdain's show.
Oh, hey, what's up? One of my favorites.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I often refer to you as, the Anthony Bourdain of real estate. Right?
Of the neighborhoods, my man.
Cuchi fritos. That's what it's called.
Yeah? Oh, my God. Well, that's cool stuff, man. Well, listen. So now we go back to Gentleman's Factory, right? Let's circle back to this thing here. And you talk about the impact that they had on you. And this visionary speech, where did they put you?
So after that, my co-founder, he contacts me a month later, and he's like, hey, I have an idea. Let's build together.
Right.
And the irony is that that's Gentleman's Factory's slogan.
That's their slogan.
Let's build.
Let's build.
Let's build.
Uh-huh.
So I adopted that mindset. And then simultaneously, Gina Alert, who I met through my homegirl, Tiana Smalls, I have to shout her out to, he mentored me on how to give back to the youth.
Yeah.
So we built.
I love that you're shouting everybody out, by the way. Gina Alert.
Yeah.
You said Tina what?
Tiana Smalls. The queen of East New
Jeff
York
Lindor. You've already shouted out like 3 of your friends. I love this.
Yes.
This is a community.
Yes, it's a community. It means a lot to me. And then, so Gina Alert inspired myself along with Jonathan Talmy, who's a very decorated broker out of Queens. We built the Relive Project, which we wanted to provide financial empowerment, and this is kind of before this whole financial empowerment blew up. Yeah, we wanted to provide that to the youth, to junior high school kids, and our first school was in Cypress Hills, so Franklin K. Lane, which is also, it's really Queens and Brooklyn.
Yeah, Franklin K. Lane, by the way, was the backdrop to Spider-Man.
I just want you to punch.
Yes.
You saw it.
Hey, man, we're from the neighborhood, man.
All right.
So it's actually like bordering right there, Brooklyn and Queens. It's in Woodhaven.
Yeah.
But it's right on the edge of Brooklyn. Like, I think half the school's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, so
the line runs right through the middle.
I think they said that they have 2 zip codes.
Yeah.
So when we went there, we found that out. There's about 7 schools. And we built the Relive Project, and going into Lane, I mean, you see all the talent, the future. And I walked away blown away because these kids are so advanced. Let me tell you, the future is bright. The future is bright as long as we continue to provide resources and encouragement to our kids.
To the kids. Señores, crearon un proyecto que se llama el Relive Project y ellos estaban trabajando en dando educación entre las escuelas y fueron a la escuela de Franklin K. Lane High School allá en lo que es Queens mayormente, pero está localizada como prácticamente en el centro de donde escribieron las rayas de los 2 condados y le dieron educación a estos muchachos de cómo manejar el dinero, qué es el idioma del dinero y lo importante que eso, porque dase cuenta, usted tiene muchos matrimonios que se separan simplemente por dinero, porque no supieron manejarlo. And this is a conversation that they're having young, before they're having marriage and all these other adult situations. So, están hablando de una edad temprano para prepararlos. So, this is great. Relive Project is something you worked on with Jonathan, right?
Yes, we it. And part of it wasn't just about financial management. It was professional development and just
how to dress, resume, things like that.
But career exposure, like when you grow up as a kid and they ask you that magical question, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? You get those typical answers of being a teacher, a lawyer, a police officer. And of course that evolves as you get older. Yeah. But, one of our missions was to introduce different concepts and career paths at a very early age so that by the time they graduate high school, they don't necessarily feel like, well, the only option is for me to go to a community college, or work at the local retail store.
Not one way of doing things, right?
Right, exactly.
Wow. So you're talking about, this project, the Relive Project. You had a partnership. Usted tenía como de una manera asociada con el Departamento de Educación allá en la ciudad de Nueva York.
Yes,
so they had a partnership with the New York City Board of Education in order to proctor, right, to deliver these classes. So you got yourself into a space where you were procuring what is pretty much a public contract, right? Or a government contract. So, imagínate, señores, hay manera de hacer negocio con tu propio condado, con tu propia ciudad, si tú aprendes cómo solicitar estos tipos de contratos. Y ellos solicitaron contratos para dar programas de educación, profesionalismo, right? A los niños, right? Exactly. So this is amazing.
Exactly. So, and I'm glad you mentioned that, for those looking for different outlets or maybe entrepreneur or different business ventures, you can definitely become a contractor of the city, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
And
right.
at the end, everything that you see in a public facility,
The
is
city is a customer.
Yeah, the city is a customer.
La ciudad recolecta sus impuestos, pero ellos vienen siendo clientes porque ellos no pueden probar todo. So
Exactly.
ellos buscan a vendedores. They look for vendors to provide these services. They can't provide it all themselves. So this is where the tax dollars go. And with you, for example, in this program, it was going back into the minds of these kids,
Right.
boosting them up, increasing their knowledge, awareness, and so forth.
Precisely.
And the future's looking bright.
The future is bright.
Wow.
I don't care what anybody has to say. The future is bright.
La mejor inversión, the best investment is to put it right back into the kids who are going to take care of us when we can't do it any longer. So I'm going to say for the kids, for us, we got to put our energy there. We've got to pump it up with these kids. So guys, I'm going to a quick break right now. Love that topic, by the way. Thank you. Let's go.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Bienvenidos, señores, y regreso al programa aquí. Y recuerde, cada sábado a las 11 estamos entrando a diferentes vecindarios. We're going into different neighborhoods every Saturday at 11. So if you're just tuning in, I'm going to give you a quick recap. My man right here, Joel Custodio, from Brooklyn. We share a whole lot with regards to the area of Brooklyn, Cypress Hills, but he got his origins from Fordham Road in the Bronx, representing and still going back and supporting those local businesses. Thanks for giving them all shout outs. And now we go fast forward from your times in school, your jobs in school, to like Gentleman's Factory, Brooklyn, and all of this stuff, and the Relive Project, which was supporting all of these children and getting the financial literacy and get basically professional stuff, right? Like resumes and how to dress and so forth. At Franklin K. Lane High School, which congratulations on getting that kind of contract with the city. And now we're moving on to another chapter. Señora, la vida no se para ahí. El hombre ha cumplido todo lo que yo acabé de decir en inglés y tal vez les sonó a ustedes como espaguetis, pero le voy a decir que este hombre ha logrado cosas que uno no puede imaginar. I mean, seriously, the guy's like, what's he talking about? Pero uno no puede imaginar porque estuvo contrato con la ciudad, tuvo también su propia experiencia desde su primer trabajo. Right?
Yep.
Siempre he querido como, I don't know, maybe you had an itch to like really build something big, right?
Yeah.
And I think we're at that stage right now. So what's this next project? What's happening?
Yeah, so I'm glad you said that about the itch. And I think in really taking a deep dive into my own thoughts one day, I said, you know what it is? It's I never wanted to feel like I'm like everybody else, right?
We're not. Everybody's unique. Everybody's unique.
I wanted to always stand out and feel unique, and that's a driving factor.
Yeah.
So, like I said, during the pandemic, you know, Jeff said his profound speech, like the next innovators are going to come out of, you know, this pandemic, this situation that we have here now, right?
Right.
And then a month later, my co-founder, he contacts me and he's like, "Hey, look, I have this idea." I was like, "What is it?" So he tells me the idea. I'm like, I am in. But I tell him I have no experience with real estate tech. He's like, doesn't matter.
So we're talking technology now.
We're talking tech.
So now we're not talking about simply getting into a field that maybe you've been in before. This is a whole new space for you.
Whole new space. It's like learning a different language.
All right? Put on your seatbelts. This might go pretty fast. So you are working right now on what is technology for real estate. In other words,
real estate
your client base are real estate brokers, agencies, right?
Precisely.
So él está trabajando en una tecnología ahora que es para lo que es la transacción de bienes raíces y los clientes de ahí serían agentes o oficinas de bienes raíces. La industria de bienes raíces sería tu cliente. So talk to us about what you're working on.
Sure. So the most simple way I can describe it is you have your iPhone and Android, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have iOS and Android. They're both operating systems.
Right.
So when you get your phone, you have your basic functionalities within those phones. You can call, you can text, you can go on the internet, and they pre-install some apps there.
So did you make houses talk or something?
Well, not yet. Not yet. Well, I know we're going fast, but not that fast.
Okay.
All right. So what we did was create a real estate operating system for real estate agents. So what that means is at the basic core, they'll have a contact manager, showing manager, and offer management systems, right? So from there, they'll be able to go onto the App Store and pretty much pick and choose what they want as part as their tech stack to support their business. Now that's very key, because usually with CRMs, they say that they're all in one. Well, how can you truly say that you're all in one when every real estate agent runs their business differently? So that's what we've done. We've created an operating system so that the real estate agent can customize their tech stack.
I can see where this is helpful, because now you're looking at, like, real estate is, very unique in itself.
Yeah.
So, cuando uno trabaja en finca raíces, cada mercado es diferente, cada casa es diferente, cada caso es diferente, cada atención necesaria al cliente es diferente, right? So, the real estate agent's looking at this like, wait a second, I got this client, he likes this a particular way, the neighborhood is this, the trending of the market is that, the market we're in, the climate economically might be something, but now your app is something which tailors by them being able to stack the technology and basically, like, a la carte, pick what works for them.
A la carte. And I love that you said that. That's exactly what it is. So you'll be able to
I did some research.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Listen, I love that. I love
So a la carte, people are picking things like contact management systems, transaction, showing.
Well, the showings and the contact management and the offer are already a part of the base layer, right? They're there already. So as soon as you get on, you get that.
Yeah.
From there, you can go to the App Store. You can get a mortgage calculator, e-signature, e-notary, transaction management, property records software.
Wow.
And even if you wanted to pick a virtual assistant, there's an app for that as well.
Wow.
So it truly supports the real estate agent on their day-to-day operations, and but it's tailored to their business, just like no different than your phone. When you get your phone, you put the apps there that you want. You put the apps there that are going to help you on a day-to-day, right? Whatever those apps are, but you're the one who goes in there and makes the experience that's best for you.
I love it. I love it. And you're taking something that, obviously the phone has become a lot more powerful than just making a call.
Right.
Right. And you've taken the phone to the point where it's like, hey, listen, you know what? You can run transactions off of this. And basically you're developing what is, what everybody's doing. Everybody's doing an app for, like, music, for buying stuff. And now you've got one that's managing, in a sense, putting all this craziness in one place so the agent can take care of, it's their number one person, their client.
Exactly. It's the ultimate command center. Not only to take care of their clients, but to take care of themselves, the agent.
Yeah,
because that matters too.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, listen, best of luck to you when this comes out. What's the name of the thing when it comes out? Because I'm reading something on your shirt, but the crease is kind of bothering me.
You know what? I'm sorry, I didn't iron, but the name of the company is Realty View.
Realty View.
Yeah, from a realtor's view.
Hey, man, listen, big round of applause for when this app comes out, and when it's ready and set to launch. You're going to find it on the App Store and Google Play Store. I'm wishing you the best of luck, because
thank you, appreciate that.
My man comes out of the same neighborhoods, man. This is a guy from the Bronx. I don't care what you say about the Bronx. There is talent there, untapped talent. And now he's in Brooklyn. So pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
And whatever neighborhood you're in, I know you're going to affect many, because this is the kind of stuff that people really need to make sure they do right by their client. And this is phenomenal. And I think it's like a building block, right? You've been building into this kind of thing.
And one day I'll be able to, when we, get our many accolades and this app is successful, I'll say this app was built from the neighborhood, in the neighborhood.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'll be more than happy to be part of that grand debut. So listen, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Local people in the community that are really creating stuff and that are really changing the way life is as we know it, right? Because now we're talking about, people who might be enabled to get into a new career, right? Because this part of managing it won't be as daunting. And maybe this is something that the consumer is going to be benefiting from, because, hey, if he's a really good agent, well, he's available for many more people, because there's these management tools that help them be more available. So, muchísimas gracias, right? Sigue trabajando, sigue improvisando con tu aplicación, y ojalá que esa aplicación se haga hacer una cosa muy tremenda y cambie la industria. Y me gusta que verle la cara de un latino en la área de tecnología, porque that has its own little cliche or stereotype that we're not involved. Latinos are totally involved in all aspects of life, and I'm really happy to see that, I've got a fellow Latino who's also Dominican in the tech world.
El orgullo dominicano.
Wow, beautiful, man. Mira, me da mucho placer. Guys, it's been a pleasure spending this time with you. I hope you really enjoyed the chance to take a little bit of the Bronx with you, right? If there's any other place you want to shout out, maybe they should know where to go.
Fordham, South Bronx, Soundview, University Heights, Burnside. Guess what? Those neighborhoods are all in the Bronx.
And if you got a favorite place to eat up there? You mentioned one, right?
Yes, my favorite place to eat in the Bronx is Giovanni's Pizza, which is 149th and Grand Concourse, right across the street from the high school that I'm from, Cardinal Hayes High School.
Hey, shout out to Cardinal Hayes and Giovanni's Pizzeria, guys. This has been a total pleasure. Gracias a ustedes por sintonizar y pasar este buen tiempo con nosotros y sentirse orgulloso de que los latinos sí estamos triunfando, estamos creando y estamos en realidad cambiando el mundo y contribuyendo de una manera muy positiva. So Latino contribution, super positive, and I love when every neighbor gets involved and gets enthused and connects. And big shout out to also Gentleman's Factory as well, who's been a big impact on your life. So I really, really appreciate it, guys, that you were there for Joel and you've done so much, and myself included, guys. I went through the program. You guys got a phenomenal program. So with that said, Joel, you want to say goodbye to the folks? Because I know what I'm going to say.
Well, once again, it's truly a pleasure and an honor to be here. I can't emphasize how long I've been waiting to, be on this show because I am from the neighborhood.
And that's been a little project for you for some time.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming. And, I just want to say it's a great platform to truly express everything that factors in your upbringing and how that shapes you to be the person that you are today. Yeah. And then the person that you're going to be, you're striving to be for the future.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a phenomenal show from Bronx to Brooklyn. You know what's going to be, bro. I'm going to be seeing you back in the neighborhood. Nos vemos.
Desde la cabina más importante de Long Island, en New York, infórmate de lo que pasa en tu barrio. En 3, 2, 1, arrancamos. Anthony from the Neighborhood en Latino Mixx. Dale play a tu bocina.